Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, Crafty Mommy of Two. Alright, so today we are just doing some yard chores. I have what I call a piss elm tree in my front lawn. It's the only tree that I have on my south side, and the roots are shooting up sprouts now that spring has hit. And we were trying to dig them out. I actually thought that they had come up from seed, and then as we were digging them out this time, realized that they were from roots. So you can see here, I was having the boys help me. Vaughn isn't quite old enough to actually use the shovel, and apparently I am not either, because I could not get the shovel to work for me, basically. So I wound up having to have Bowen use a shovel, and then I would pull it out as much as I could by the from the root. We have to do this like at least once a week or every other week because they shoot up so fast. We actually have some that are in our flower beds that we're going to have to get taken care of pretty quick because they were there at the end of fall last year and we didn't take care of them, and of course now they're getting really big. If it had been just a normal tree, I don't think I would worry that much about it, but these trees have thorns on the stem, and so it's really a pain in the ass, quite honestly, and it hurts to try to pull them out by hand, which is why we're using the shovel and just breaking it off, if we can't get the entire root out, which where the root is the huge root from the big tree, we're not going to get the root out, but we're doing the best that we can. You can see back behind Bowen and I are the tires that we planted the asparagus and the strawberries in, and I have some very sad news for you. I had one asparagus come out, and then we got a hailstorm, and it got flattened, and it hasn't recovered. And then I have another asparagus up and is doing just fine for its first year, and that is it. I'm not sure what's going on, why the strawberries didn't come up, why the rest of the asparagus didn't. It could be that next year they all go crazy, so I'm not worrying about it. I'm going to mulch it really good and just leave it for the season. But it was really, really strange because I've literally done it multiple times like that and never had an issue. Don't mind the random chair in the background there. My kids like to sit on the east side and watch traffic because apparently I don't give them enough chores or something. I don't know. We finally got Vaughn pulling the trees while Bowen digs them up, and I went and started getting all the stuff around because we are going to start planting. We planted peas at the beginning of spring in like March, and none of them came up. So we are replanting. But first, we have to pull all of the morning glory seedlings that are coming up. I made a mistake and planted morning glories on this trellis, and my mom even told me don't do it, and I did it anyway, and then they dropped a whole bunch of seeds. They were glorious, but they dropped a whole bunch of seeds, and now I'm going to be fighting them for the next few years. But we planted some peas in this trellis. Nope, I lied. We planted some cucumbers in this trellis, getting some more of the weeds. But we planted some cucumbers on both sides of this trellis, a couple of different kinds, mostly pickling because that's what we like. We also like to eat them raw, but I want to get some for the pantry downstairs. And then it was time to get some of the weeds out of these blue buckets. These are what I have my tomatoes and peppers in this year. I'm hoping that if I need to make any kind of trellising for them, because for me, tomato cages don't work. So I'm going to have to make some sort of trellis, and I think I'm going to do one out of PVC. But when I do, hopefully having them in buckets will make it a lot easier. These are the mineral buckets that I also used some to do some of my potatoes. And then I also used milk crates for the other ones. But I'm just working on getting all of the weeds that I see. It's kind of difficult because I also planted flowers by seed in here, and so I want to make sure I'm not pulling those out. And you can see Bowen back there. He's working on getting the soil out of this bed because we have, I want to say 6 more. Yes, 6 more of the blue mineral buckets around the yard that already have some soil in them that we are going to just continue on this line because this bed broke on us this last season and we decided to just not redo it. And so he is filling those black grow buckets at the end of the cucumber beds, as well as topping off the 1x beds there. And then we will get them planted. I'm just smoothing it out so that I have a better surface to be able to do it, because I am going to have Vaughn help me, and if there's holes, sometimes he doesn't care for it, as I should say. So last year I got an artesian cucumber, I think is what it was. I got it from a farmer's market, and I saved the seeds, and I'm wondering if they just the fruit itself wasn't mature enough to get viable seeds. But we went ahead and I planted those out, and then I gave Vaughn cucumber seeds and he planted in between, and I can tell that Vaughn's have come up but mine haven't. So unfortunately, I don't think we're going to wind up getting any of those, which is really sad because it was really good. It was really cool looking when you cut it open. It looked like a flower. But if we have pickling cucumbers and that's all we have, then that's fine too. We plant them kind of close together because I do try to keep the leaves trimmed, and on that way we have more availability for the fruit. And then we're just covering them up really good and getting it so that the seeds are covered and patted down so they have good connection with the surface. And then right along the edge, we are just going to sprinkle some carrot seeds. We have all different kinds. We have some like black nebula. We have some multicolored. We have normal orange, like the short ones. Carrots and me kind of just go back and forth. Sometimes they come up just fine, sometimes they don't. We planted carrots in some of our blue buckets. They didn't come up at all. I have yet to find a way of doing it that I like. I know my mom has tried the cornstarch method, and that seemed to work really well with her, where you make cornstarch slurry, and then once it's cooled, you add in the seeds and you lay that down, and it keeps them kind of separated and gives them enough moisture. I didn't have issues, or I didn't have any luck with that. I've tried carrot tape, didn't have any luck with that. It could be that I need to go out and water twice a day when I have carrots specifically starting. Or it could just be that I just don't have a lot of luck with carrots. But I keep trying because I would really like to have enough carrots to get us through the winter months when we want them, whether that be fresh or in the can. And then same with this side. This is the west side of that trellis, and we are just going to finish planting out the cucumber seeds and then sprinkle in some carrot seeds, cover them up, pat them down. I didn't think that any of these were going to wind up coming up, and I was very much surprised when we went out there just a couple of days ago and I actually had little bitty carrot tops. So maybe this is the way I need to do it. I don't know. We planted peas and cucumbers in these buckets with this trellis. And as you can see in this close one on the left, we have 1 cucumber, and the one that we're doing right now, we had 1 pea plant. So we've replanted both the peas and the cucumbers. So far, all of them now have something coming up except for the one on the right in the very front. And for some reason, that one doesn't have anything coming up, and we planted in it twice. So that one might just be a dud. The one that I'm planting in now is what I'm talking about, that it might just be a dud. I don't know. If it doesn't come up with anything pretty soon though, I'm probably just going to plant some flowers in it and call it good, because at this point I'm kind of tired of replanting everything. This year has been kind of weird for us, where we usually are in like the high 90s May 1st, and I'm currently recording this voiceover on June 2nd, and it is 65 degrees outside. So it's a little weird for us. It's really rainy. which is really nice. I've really been enjoying not having to water every single day. But none of the plants know what to do. You know, they're just not sure. Some of them like the warmer weather, which we're also having, but we're not staying warm, and some of them like cooler weather, but we're not staying cool. So it's been kind of touch and go. Everything's kind of stunted right now, so I'm interested to see when we get into the height of summer, just how hot it gets and how well everything does. And of course, one of the other projects that we need to get done is to use that wood and make the fence that we're going to have on two sides of our property around the garden. The back of the fence is going to be the chicken coop, so we don't need one there. And on the east side of the fence, I am going to have hopefully a living hedge with berry bushes. So we need to make those two sides and get them up and get the pallets completely taken down before the city gets on us again. Alright, that is it for this video. It was short, sweet, and to the point. Got some planting done, got some trees pulled. If you like this kind of content, please consider subscribing, and I will talk to you next time.